ASMR. Hey guys, I thought I'd talk about a couple horror movies today. One of my favorite things that myself and my best friend used to do when she would come up and visit me during the summers after she moved away was to rent 80s and 90s horror movies, grab a pizza, and just have a viewing party. There's two types of horror movies that I like. Let me first say that I do watch modern horror stories, and I do like some of the movies, but I prefer movies that don't rely on really loud music and jump scares and the whole demonic walking like a crab really slow and then all of a sudden they're in your face. It seems like a lot of them do that now, but I still watch them and I like some of them. But the horror that I prefer most of all is the subtle, slow kind. Like for an example, in the movie Poltergeist, where the mother has just pushed the chairs into the kitchen table, cleared the breakfast dishes. She sets the dishes in the sink, turning her back from the table for 5 seconds. She turns back around and all the chairs are stacked on top of each other, and it startles her. Stuff like that. Or I really liked the first few Paranormal Activity movies. Most people hate them. I really like them because of all the boring dialogue. My husband couldn't get past the boring dialogue. For me, that made it seem more realistic, there is a chandelier swinging by itself in the living room while the couple is upstairs, having an argument over something stupid. There's subtle, small things going on, and they don't even know about it. I love stuff like that. Love it. But a lot of people hate it. I like that. And then I love the horror movies that are just cheesy and stupid, and you just love to laugh at. So, anyway, most of these are just the cheesy ones. The first one is the movie Waxwork from 1988. This movie starred Zach Callahan, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he was Billy in the Gremlin movies. And basically, he and his friends are in high school, and of course, like most movies, they look like they're about to graduate college, but or older. But anyway, they're invited to a private viewing of a wax museum, and they think it'll be something fun to make fun of and stuff. And what ends up happening is they all kind of separate in the museum and admire the different displays. And one by one, they're sucked into the display. And they have to reenact what's happening in the display scene. For most of them, it doesn't end well. One scene in that movie that always creeped me out, and again, most of these movies, don't do that, was a werewolf transformation that disturbed me big time. So that's interesting. a sequel that was terrible. Terrible. Not as terrible as Troll 2, but terrible. It didn't even have the same female actress in it playing the girl. So, then of course, I'm a huge Blair Witch Project fan. Didn't care for any of the sequels. Not even the most recent one that was supposed to be like her brother going and finding them. But I really liked the first one because it came out before the whole like hand camera viewing, filming stuff got to be too much. And again, I liked all the dialogue, the subtle scary things like him throwing the map away and them getting lost, going around in circles, being in the deep woods at night, not knowing where you are, no one else knowing where you are. That in itself is just scary. And they kind of start to not lose their mind, but, you know, emotions and stress are running high. You know, all of that, plus the creepy noises and supposed things going on, like, really made it kind of creepy to me. Of course, my favorite cheesy ones are A Nightmare on Elm Street. I've always been a Freddy fan, and my sister's always been a Jason fan. And my best friend and I waited for so long for Freddy vs. Jason to come out. And when it did, we were disappointed. But anyway, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, I actually thought was a little bit scary. All of the rest of them, just cheesy goodness. But the first one, this scene in the high school where Nancy's in class and her best friend that just died, Tina, I think it was, walking down the hall in a body bag. Like, that was just creepy to me because that had to be a psychological mind, you know what? Because, I mean, your best friend just died, and then you're seeing them dead in the hallway, and it just kind of hit me in the sense that, like, if you had a friend that died and then you had a nightmare about them being alive but dead, I just thought that was a little scary. And then it was kind of gross when Johnny Depp got sucked in the bed and blood spurted everywhere. But other than that, cheesy stuff. But I think the first one was probably the best, as in creepy. The third one was the best entertainment-wise. The second one was awful. But the scene where Freddy's a bus driver, that one messed me up for a while whenever we would have a substitute bus driver. But other than that, the second one was probably like the worst one. Amityville Horror. I loved the Amityville Horror. That one the original one creeped me out a little bit because I had read, you know, about the Lutz's situation, and, you know, I'm aware of, you know, the DeFeo murders and all of that stuff. So to me, even if the Lutz's story is just bullshit, what actually happened in that house with the DeFeo murders was like messed up enough to make the movie kind of creepy. I think for me, the movie, again, the 1979 one, was creepy because of the music in it. And the original one had James Brolin and Margot Kidder in it. Now I did in 2004 see the remake with Ryan Reynolds in it. Now that one had more of the loud jump scare type stuff in it. And you know, that does scare me because it startles me. You know? So again, I didn't much care for that one. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any more that I want to talk about right now. I should have prepared this video better. I'm gonna pause this until I think of a better one. Okay, I thought of another really good one. This one was not cheesy. It was a serious, like psychological horror movie. It's called Funny Games. It was in 1997. And it was basically about these two boys that, like teenagers, early 20s, late teens, who seemed like they were really polite, helpful, pleasant guys, but they were really psychotic. And they basically hold this family hostage, like this rich white family hostage. And it's really messed up. But it's really good. I'm just reading the little synopsis. It says that, you know, and it's been a really long time since I've seen it, so it says the psychotic boys intermittently address the audience and even rewind the film at one point, suggesting that the viewers are in on their cruel activities and are, in a way, rooting for them. It's really interesting. Like, they torture this family in a series of, like, sick games. It's really interesting. Check out this list that this movie was on and see if there's any more that I want to talk about. You know what? Misery. That one's good. That's along the lines of a horror movie that I like, because it sounds like something that could actually happen, like some of it. You know, you think about how fanatic we all get about our book series, our movie series, how pissed off we get at the writers, the directors, when they change a plot line, they kill off a character, you know, so it's not super far-fetched to think that something like this could happen. You know, someone hold hostage the writer of their favorite book, the director of their favorite movie, an actor that plays their favorite character, and psychologically torturing them if they're pissed off. I mean, there's some crazy fans out there, so. I don't know. I guess it is, but I never considered The Sixth Sense a horror movie. I guess it is. I mean, it has some creepy scenes in it. You know, that'll always get me. That'll always creep me out. Seeing people who died in a tragic way just wandering around a house, you know, dead, not knowing what's going on. I think because, in a way, it's sad. It's sad and scary, so. Obviously, you know, when it first came out, you know, the twist was like, whoa, but then it became just a joke, so. So I've seen a couple different versions of the movie The Vanishing. I don't know if the versions that I've seen are, I don't know if they're supposed to be the same movie, or if I've just seen different movies with the exact same plot. Let's see. See, some of the pictures for these things that I'm looking at don't seem to match up, but The Vanishing that I saw was, sorry if you hear the train in the background, Kiefer Sutherland, and I think it was Sandra Bullock were dating, and I think they had car trouble, and they got in a fight, and I think the car had broken down near a tunnel. I can't remember. They had gotten in a fight, and I believe that Kiefer said he was walking to the gas station, and when he got back, she was gone, disappeared, and no one could find her. And like, you find out that she was taken and possibly tortured and murdered. And I think it's about him needing to find out exactly what happened to her and going through what she went through. It's really messed up, but it's really interesting. And it again gets me because it's something that actually happens. Like, if you have the ID channel, you hear about this stuff all the time, so. Okay, guys, well, this is running long, so I'm gonna cut it off here.